So, to improve the sellability of your home, there are simple tricks.
Wait, but what is sellability? What is value?
Okay, let's have Jason explain this.
Okay, so here's the thing, because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to improve the value of my home. But value is determined by the market, which is weird, not necessarily what is. So things that influence value is like how big the house is, what the house is made of, and where the house is. I would say that those are the biggest things.
I think that right here in the United States is really important where the house is. Because
that's huge.
Because an appraiser will tell the value of your home when he compares with the properties around it, and if they are similar and if they're same type of construction, and they will let you know, oh yeah, that's a house that it's like so similar to yours and it sold like 2 months ago, so your house is about the same value of that house.
To illustrate, like you've got homes in Utah, you have homes in Southern California, you got homes in the Midwest, in the South. They're all worth different things because of where they are. Everybody knows, oh yeah, California. I had a buddy, he sold his house actually a couple of years ago, which was 2,000 square feet. It was like a townhome house.
Okay.
It's like a house standalone, but there's like hardly any yard. Down in one of the beach towns. Just guess, 2,000 square feet, how much?
Like a couple of years, like 2-3 years.
Like last year, the year before?
Like 900,000.
Just over $1 million, between $1 million, 1.5. Yeah. So crazy. If that was here, 300,000-400,000.
Yeah. And when they were creeping, and the prices were up there, and the people decided the value was higher. Yeah. So and so that's important to know, like versus sellability, how you can make your house sell faster. And that's important as well. It depends on what are your goals and what are your time frames in order to make this happen. Something that it's important also, I always try to compare, you guys know I'm from Mexico, and I always try to compare a little bit of how things happen over there versus here, because I've also sold houses over there. And over there, an appraiser will go based on the construction of the house. What was the materials done? When was that? And it's based on that primarily versus what are the houses around it. Because over there, there's a lot more openness on the difference.
Creativity in building materials and construction.
Creativity on building materials, as well as different. There's no CCNRs. There's not a specific thing that you need to follow. And so there are codes. You have to do the things certain ways. But what it's not is like, if you want your house pink, you can have it. If I want mine blue, we can live in the same neighborhood. And we can both have our own colors. Versus here, it's a little different. Yeah. So the differences are there, but that's why we want to talk about how to make your house sell faster, and what are the little tricks and things that you can do to make it easier.
Yeah. So splitting hairs like this, like these do kind of increase value, but not specifically, because when an appraiser goes through them, and the difference on value and sellability is what color paint in the house doesn't necessarily affect how much it's worth.
Yes.
But if it's a more appealing color, it will sell faster. Not because it's worth more, but because more people like it.
Yep.
So that's kind of the difference.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of houses, and usually I don't go and show them. I don't have clients for that, but maybe we should get some, where they have the playroom with a mural. And they have like a jungle, and I mean, it's lovely, but I don't know if that really increases the value of the property or make it even sell faster.
Yeah, you're really appealing to demographics. So like painting is is the first things, and it is really neat to let your kids paint on the wall and do. I was in a house a while ago where the previous owners had let their daughter. She's really into fantasy, and she painted her. Phrases in a language she wrote herself, and there's dragons on the wall. Like, if you're into that, that's great, awesome, and it was worth more to the sellers. But the recommendation from the real estate agent selling the home was like, paint this white.
Paint this white. Yes. Yeah, definitely.
No, we love this. It's not your house.
It's not your house. You want to move, right? So paint it. Yeah. In my house, the boys and girls' room have a wall that it's a chalk wall. So they can just like scribble or take their anchor and do whatever they want there. And we know that we'll have to paint it whenever it's time to sell the house. But, I mean, they had a good time, so that was worth it for us. Oh. But at the same time, if you want to sell the house, not everybody loves that, right? It's not your house anymore. And another important thing that you want to change and figure out and get it as much updated as you can is the kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That updating the kitchen is the first one that would breach into value.
Yes.
Because countertops are countertops, but an appraiser will give value for granite or solid countertops over Formica.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And it makes sense because at the same time, it's part of the material of the house that it's in the house, and so it just makes sense for that. Same as flooring, like different floorings. If you have a carpet that is like really, really outdated, then that is hard to sell, hard to move. You have to have somebody that has a lot of vision and figure out what they want to do with their house instead of how the house is for them to just move in.
Yeah, so carpet that's there versus brand new carpet wouldn't necessarily change the value. If you went from like carpet to hardwood or something like that could affect the value. But if you go carpet to carpet, value is the same, but the sellability goes way up. And
way up.
Yeah, switching out the carpet and the pad is one of the best ways, easiest ways to make your home feel new and sellable because it'll change the smell of the home.
Yeah, and it's funny because you would think, you have to, if you change the pad, you have to change the carpet. But no, you don't have to. I've learned that from an investor. So
they didn't change the pad?
They didn't change the carpet was in good condition, but the pad was not.
Oh.
And so they removed the carpet. They put the pad, the newer pad, the cushier one, they put the carpet back and cleaned it, and it looked perfect, and it was nice.
Interesting.
So check that out. I mean, there are possibilities, and the thing that you want to do is not spend that much in order to improve your house, but you do want to change those little things so you can sell it faster.
Yeah.
One thing that you can't do is leave the same fluorescent light bulbs on your home. You really need to change those.
This is actually really interesting because the ambience of the home really affects the sellability of it. So if you have a warmer spectrum light, it can improve the appearance. Also, and this wasn't something you were going to talk about, make sure the home is comfortable for the season. So if you're selling in the winter, you want your home to be, I would say, 72 degrees to 74. You want it warm so when they come in from the cold, the house is warm. Tony Robbins did a study, or cites a study, where people are walking through the park and they have a select group of people, half of them with iced coffee, half of them with hot coffee. The people hand the coffee to the subjects, the people who were volunteering for the study who didn't know, and said, "Can you hold this for a second?" And then within a couple minutes, other people came up and they said, "We're doing a survey. Would you read a story and answer a couple questions about the story? I'll give you $5 or something." So they read the story, and it was like, what was your perception of the main character? And the one was warm and friendly and cold and uncaring. And the people that held the iced coffee, more of them said the main character was cold and uncaring, and the people who held the hot coffee said the main character was warm and inviting. So the temperature of your house really affects sellability.
Yeah. And I don't know if you guys noticed that sometimes during the fall and the winter, there's always like a candle there making it smell good and everything. One of the things that I've learned through the years is that you have to spray with orange smells because orange smells make you excited. And if you put fall colors or fall smells, it's going to make you warm, and you're going to remember all memories and whatever else.
Nostalgia.
But when you smell orange, then you get excited, and then you get excited about the house.
Interesting.
So that's like little tricks that you learn through the times, and you figure out, and you think, this actually works. And I mean, that's why we have doTERRA, Young Living, and all those things that we makes it so aromatherapy works. And what is the difference, right? It's part of making you comfortable and making you know that this is your place. And because knowing that is based on how you feel, not so much on your logic, then making you feel good in a house is going to improve that.
Yeah, that's important.
Yes. Yeah. And making you feel good and that it's a newer home. And one of the newer homes is also check your appliances. Don't keep the green stove that matches the green fridge. Avocado colors, they're awesome on an antique home. If you have one of those homes, if you've seen them. I was going through a magazine, and this lady has her home just like when she bought it, and she's about 80 years old. And, it looks spectacular on the pictures, but she's selling the house because it's exactly like it. Yeah. But if your house has a TV, if your house has, carpet, laminate, this other thing, and then those type of appliances might not be that easy to sell.
Yeah. Well, and then a lot of people are looking for energy efficient stuff too. So if you can switch out a few more of these things to be more energy efficient, light bulbs are light bulbs. They have the value of light bulbs. But if you can advertise that you have a low power bill, it doesn't make your house worth more, but it makes it
But it makes it easier to sell. Definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
Super important. Don't leave everything out. If you have a lot of things, don't let them all out. Just have them in a good tote in the garage, or rent a place where you can move everything over there. If you like to have a lot of things, that would be my suggestion.
Yeah,
just rent a storage unit.
You say for most people, you probably get rid of half of the stuff that's in the house.
Yes.
Not me, because then I won't have anything because I'm just a bachelor, and then I won't have anything in my house. But in general, yeah, help it feel open.
Okay, and this is not a thing that only women do. Okay, not only women buy a lot of things because they want to buy a lot of things. I want to say that.
My garage is a different story.
Your garage is what?
A different story.
It's a different story. Exactly. So, and that's what we want to do. We want to declutter your home because it's not going to be your home anymore. It's going to be a house that you're selling. And it's important for people to see actually the walls, to see how big it is, how many things they can fit in that are theirs, not yours. That's important. When you're showing a house and somebody says, oh, our couch would look great there, your house is sold. But if you go and see and think, oh, my goodness, I bet there's a lot of things that we need to fix if we take this or that, then the house is not sold.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is it can help to depersonalize the home. Mm-hmm. So it's great if you have a strong influence, your family heritage, and that's wonderful. And if someone with a similar heritage goes into your home, they might help them feel like that's their home and they want to live there. Mm-hmm. But sometimes family pictures, heirlooms, trinkets, and souvenirs can impact the sellability, Yeah. So pay attention to your market, listen to your real estate agent, see what can help and what can hurt. And it might be a good idea to take down a lot of things.
I've seen houses with collections, a collection of cars in the wall, like toy cars. Mm-hmm. And, they're awesome, but they're for the seller, not for the rest of the people. And so the people will not remember the house because of the great room they have. It will remember the house of the weird one with all that stuff on the walls. Cars, or they will categorize your home. That's what they do. That's what we do. We try to remember things easy, and so we attach them to some memory. And the last thing you want to do is to be the house that has a lot of things.
Or the weird smell.
Yep. Or the weird smell. And it's important to know because I think that after they declutter everything, after the seller declutters everything and figures out that there's some things that he needs to patch or improve, that's going to make it so much better for them, for the inspection, for the appraiser, for everything, right? So just check it out. See what's in your place. If you're thinking of selling, figure out what are the tips that can be useful for you. And if you have any questions, just give us a call or, comment below, and then you can connect with us and we can go and check your house and tell you more tips about it.